What do you mean you can't get hired?
I can't.
Andrea, you made law review. You clerked. What? You have a criminal record or something?
Close. When I was 14, I was raped. It comes up in my interviews and my prospects hit the floor with a thud.
It comes up in your interviews? How many have you had?
Including callbacks? Over 30.
And it always comes up?
Pretty much. I took some time off for treatment, so the little gap in my resume, I explain it.
Do you think it's wise to bring it up? I mean, law firms aren't exactly looking to hire rape victims.
This is what I'm assuming.
Who would you sue?
The law firms. She already has sued, and...
All 30 of them?
Yes, she's claiming industry bias.
Against rape victims.
Here's the complaint and supporting memoranda. It's pretty good. Thing is, they brought a motion to dismiss yesterday, and now there's an evidentiary hearing.
Slow down.
Andrea has to testify, so she basically needs co-counsel. That's why she asked for our help.
Well, have any of these firms said that her status as a rape victim was why they didn't hire her?
Of course not. But 0 for 30? Come on.
Jamie.
It's a solid test case, Eugene.
What? Rape victims as a class?
I know, it's tough. Which means it would be a lot of help if there were a senior litigator there with me. They might be more inclined to settle. Please?
Overall, of the 30 initial interviews, I talked about being raped all but 7 times. I got 7 callbacks. I'll let you guess which ones.
Why bring it up at all? Certainly, rape does not make for a fun conversation.
No, it doesn't. The truth is, I never talked about it. Not even to my closest friends. I always thought that I could outrun the memory, and that one morning I would finally wake up unraped. But during my clerkship, I began to suffer from some emotional problems, anxiety. I got therapy and discovered much of it was brought on by my own feelings of shame and guilt.
So your therapist encouraged you to talk about it?
Yes. Unfortunately, people don't want to hear it.
During all these interviews, did anyone make any inappropriate remark concerning your being raped?
No.
Do you have any evidence, testimonial, paper, where you can show but for your being raped you would have been hired at a particular firm?
At a particular firm? No. I have no hard evidence.
Thank you, Andrea. That's all.
You may step down.
Your Honor, clearly there's no prima facie case here. And even if you could show a smoking gun, Massachusetts is an at-will employment state, which means legally they can hire whoever they want without any...
I'd like to call Jason McNeil.
Miss Stringer.
He's sitting right there. He's one of the defendants. I'd like to ask him a few questions.
We'll take a 20-minute break, then resume with Mr. McNeil.
Excuse us. Why did you do that?
I didn't think Andrea held up too well on cross, so I figure, what's to lose? Maybe the guy will say something to help us.
Jamie, if you don't know what a witness will say, you don't call them. That's cross-examination 101.
The case is a long shot, Eugene, so...
Exactly. So the last thing we need is for the defense to get to button the motion with their side.
The judge was about to rule.
This witness isn't going to admit to anything. Odds are he'll have you for lunch, and then the judge will rule, all right? Jamie, think. If that fails, at least check with me.
She shouldn't have been raped, but it certainly didn't factor into my decision.
Why didn't you hire her?
Counsel, we see so many applicants, all with excellent transcripts from top-rate law schools. In the end, many of the final calls come from the gut.
And your gut said don't hire Andrea Cote.
I didn't form any negative conclusions toward her. I guess I just had more positive reactions to others.
Because they hadn't been raped?
Of course not.
She made law review. She was a finalist in the New England Moot Court competition.
She's very qualified. But if you look at our hires over the last year, you'll see that they, too, are extremely talented.
Mr. McNeil, I have no doubt that you're an honorable man. Reminding you that you are under oath. Are you telling this court that Andrea Coates' status as a rape victim didn't inform a little on your decision not to hire her?
Miss Stringer, I indeed like to think of myself as an honorable man. I'm a proud member of the bar and an officer of this court. And I will tell you categorically, her status as a rape victim played no part whatsoever in my determination.
Any word?
No. I persuaded the judge to let me give a summation, so we go back in tomorrow morning.
Summation?
I can't give up on this, Eugene.
Well, how did you persuade the judge? Did you go in ex parte?
Yes.
Jamie, you can't do
Please
that.
don't start with me.
What start? It's just that
I
you
would
can't
really
do...
appreciate you not leaning on me right now and just letting me finish this closing. Could you do that?
Are you okay? Exactly how long is this summation? Jamie, it's understandable for a lawyer to be anxious, especially a young one, but this is a motion. It's not a trial,
It's a motion to dismiss, and the client is a friend, and...
I asked before. I'll ask you again. Are you okay? You can talk to me. It might even help.
I'm fine. I am anxious, but I'm fine.
Okay.
I was date raped once, 4 years ago. I didn't report it. I was too afraid of the stigma, so maybe this case has stirred things up a bit.
You didn't report it?
I couldn't even remember what I said yes to.
So what, he drugged you?
Yes. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm not being exactly objective about this case, and if so, I'm sorry.
Well, did you go to counseling for this, or...
You're the first person I've even told. Don't ask me why I'm telling you.
Jamie, Lucy works for Red Crisis. Maybe she can...
I'm past it now, but thank you.
Jamie, this is something you need to deal with.
I did deal with it. I moved on.
Clearly, you haven't.
I need to get to work on my closing. I told you this in confidence, Eugene, and I'm gonna ask you to respect it. Of course, there's going to be no record of it. No lawyer is ever going to write down or say aloud, gee, I really liked her, but that rape thing. It's just easier to say, I didn't get a good feel.
I agree. But that's your problem, counsel. Interviews are just that, getting a feel for a person. They're not scientific. And prospective employers can reject a candidate for a whole host of reasons.
But being raped is not one of them.
Says who? As Mr. Hall points out, there's no special protection for crime victims.
But if she was perceived as being sexually damaged...
Where's the showing of that?
If allowed to conduct discovery, I could make a showing.
Miss Stringer, it's tough enough to fire a person in this country without being subjected to a lawsuit. Now you're asking me to create a brand new cause of action for those people not even hired yet.
And it's hard enough to be raped without then having to endure a stigma. Rape victims are still perceived of as angry, damaged, less than. As a result, women are encouraged by society to keep it to themselves, and for God's sakes, don't talk about it. Andrea Coate is a rape survivor. And one of the ways she's survived is by talking about it. She shouldn't have to stay in a closet. A woman is forcibly raped every 6 minutes in this country. Let me say it again. Every 6 minutes.
You're getting off track.
No, I'm not.
Jamie.
There are a lot of rape survivors out there. They're beginning to constitute a significant portion of our society. And we're out there. We're all around you. But we stay quiet and things stay a secret because there's an implied pressure. Don't talk about it. Well, we're out there.
You seem to be getting emotional. If you can make a legal argument.
My legal argument would be public policy. This country spends millions of tax dollars on rape prevention, medical facilities, rape crisis units. We pass rape shield laws. We have rape victims funds. We have a public policy to integrate rape survivors into society, to make them whole. Not hiring someone because she was raped violates that public policy, and accordingly affords my client a cause of action.
Two things. First, you argued an excellent case. Your legal analysis was strong. Who knows? You may even get the judge to recognize rape victims as a status class. Second, Jamie, you need to recognize yourself as a rape victim. Like the judge said, your emotion was all over that room. This thing... Talk to Lucy.
Where is everyone?
Lunch.
Well, then I guess I'll go eat. You want me to pick you up something?
No, thanks.
Want to go to lunch?
Oh, I would love to. But if someone isn't here to watch the phones, Eugene gives birth.
Okay. Lucy, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
1 second. Donnie Young and Fred. Uh-huh. Thank you. That was the clerk's office. You won your motion.
what?
Motion to dismiss was denied.
Oh. Wow, wow.
Congratulations. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
Are you okay? What's wrong?
Nothing. It was a big case.